Okay, you guys, sorry. I've never ever done a live on my phone before. I don't know where I'm looking. I feel like I'm looking too. I feel like I'm not looking. Hi, guys. I'm just gonna wait for you. I was trying to. I was trying to actually do this. Welcome to my channel. It's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. I was. Hi, guys. Okay. I have never done a live on my phone. I did a live on Instagram and then I saved it and then I didn't actually hey guys, I saved it and then it didn't save. And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to jump over to YouTube. I don't know really how to do this here because I've never actually done this on my phone. And I don't think I can actually save any of I probably can't show you anything. Like, I don't think I can show you oh, no. Nope, I can't show you my screenshots. Okay, either way. Hi, guys. Hi. Okay, so I am sitting in my living room. This is a completely different Katie. Okay, so earlier today, I was telling you I did an Instagram live. I'm sorry. I don't even know where to look. Is it fine? Okay. Earlier today, I did an Instagram live and I was talking about Jeremy and Audrey Roloff. And so Brenda from God is Great, if you check out her channel, she has an awesome channel. It's called God is Great, and Brenda covers a ton of topics. Brenda has been sort of covering a lot of just problematic people in fundamentalism and in the Christianity, sort of fundy world. And about a month ago, she did a story about this guy named Dale Partridge. And then Dale Partridge is connected to this guy named Matt Jacobsen. And so earlier this week, she uploads her video. She uploads usually once a week. And on her upload, she interviews Stell Jacobsen, who is Matt and Lisa Jacobsen's daughter. And in this interview, it's pretty graphic. I'm not going to go into a ton of detail. I told you a little bit about it in my earlier story. But one of the families that was brought into this was the Roloffs. And it was because Jeremy and Audrey Roloff are part of this, whatever Matt and Lisa Jacobsen are doing. So if you know anything about the Roloffs, is Jeremy and Audrey Roloff left Little People, Big World in 2017 or 2018, and they said that they were going to be going on to different avenues. They were going to do their podcast. They were going to write a book. They were going to completely go into a different direction. They wanted to slow down their lives, they said. And by doing so, they are pretty well involved with this guy named Matt and Lisa. Matt and Lisa are parents to, I think, 8 children. They've been married for 30 years. They are internet pastors and mentors and coaches that have this very archaic sort of belief system about biblical marriage, biblical raising of children, and all of this good stuff. So basically, Stell goes out on Brenda's channel and she outs her parents and says that her parents are doing these really, really terrible things by using, if you're familiar with To Train Up the Child by Debbie and Michael Pearl, she says that her dad basically is using a very similar, he has read the book, he ascribes to the book, and then he has taken it to another level. And he uses the teachings of Debbie and Michael Pearl, and she says, is teaching and mentoring any of his people that are doing this. So they claim that, Audrey and Jeremy are being mentored by Matt, and he's teaching them these things. So I was digging through some social media. There's some posts back from 2016 or 2017 of Audrey actually talking about blanket time with Ember, which would be consistent with the To Train Up the Child teachings. So in the video, they say that Brenda and Stella are very careful not to allege that anyone else involved with this has anything to do with this. So they won't outright say like Jeremy and Audrey are doing these things, because we can't say that they're doing these things. But Jeremy and Audrey are very close to her parents. So here's how close they are to her parents. Audrey's assistant, Cambria, or her former assistant, Cambria, is the Jacobsons' daughter and Stell's sister. And so they have one of the Jacobsons' children basically working with Audrey, or had been working with Audrey. So they are very close to this family. They also promote Matt and Lisa Jacobsen, and Matt and Lisa Jacobsen promote them. So on their Instagram, The Faithful Man and Club 31 for Women, which is Lisa's version of it, they are promoting Jeremy and Audrey talking about marriage and the struggles of marriage. And I'll have to show you this because I don't think I can do it here. It won't allow me to add anything, but they basically, in this interview, in this podcast, they talk about, Matt asks them, like, what is the biggest thing that you've had to let go of in your marriage? And Matt teaches that women need to be obedient. Women must allow their men to lead. If you go to Matt's blog and his Instagram, there are photos of like women must respect their husbands. Women must submit, women must obey. And there's stuff on his blog about, when you are married, a woman's body and a man's body no longer belong to them. Like, he has blogs about women's bodies being the property of man. And so you have to give your body regardless of what you want to do. And there's lots of posts like this on his blog, The Faithful Man, and Jeremy has photos of him wearing the Faithful Man shirts. They have a lot of stuff about culture, very much about, no, I'm talking about Jeremy Roloff, hold on. They have a lot of stuff about culture, and a lot of the stuff is very anti anything other than like hetero biblical marriage, man and a woman. So they dress themselves up on Instagram to appear a very certain way. Like, they're very hip and they're very trendy, and they've got their cute, like, lighting and their filters and their cute modest dresses. And they have, there's stuff on these things about biblical, modesty. And one of the things that Stell brought up, which was really concerning, was that her dad tried to broker a marriage for her when she was 15 years old. That's kind of concerning. But what's even more concerning is that Jeremy and Audrey are not answering any questions. So they outed, and this is not me like bringing this up or digging this up. This is literally, Brenda puts this video out like 4 or 5 days ago. And the video has, as of this evening, 221,000 views. So 221,000 people have seen this. People are going to Audrey and Jeremy's Instagram and telling them, like, are you going to respond to this? What are you going to say? Can you answer questions about this? And Jeremy and Audrey are ignoring them. Dale Partridge and Veronica Partridge, who are also a part of this, have come out, and they are actually like, they've said, no, we haven't been a part of this group for 5 years. We left a long time ago. When we were a part of it, like, we knew nothing about this. And this isn't what we do, even though they follow some of the same principles. So Jeremy and Audrey are deleting any comments about it. They have some comments that are still up, but they refuse to answer questions. Matt and Lisa Jacobsen on their Instagrams have completely limited comments, so you can't ask them questions at all. And they aren't really posting any new content. Like Jeremy posted a photo of him playing the guitar, and a lot of the questions are like, are you going to answer to this? You need to answer to this. And the reason why people want them to answer to this is because Audrey and Jeremy are literally giving marriage and parenting advice. It's different if you are just your normal, average, everyday Joe, but like literally their brand is built on building like marriage advice and parenting advice, which by the way, they've only been married for 6 years and they've already written 2 books. Like how, this is the weird thing about this group, and this is what I'm going to tell you, and this is what I need to show you in a different video where I can actually show you screenshots. But Mark, or Matt, I want to call him Mark. He looks like a Mark. Matt and Lisa Jacobsen appear to be running some sort of like pyramid scheme. And the reason why I think it's a pyramid scheme is because they seem to be mentoring people into, once they mentor them, those people are going off and starting their own podcasts. And so they seem to be building their network, and they're bringing people in through teaching people how to do what it seems to be podcasts, writing books, and then having merchandise, and then doing like blogs, because all of the people that are involved in this have the exact same things. So Matt and Lisa have blogs, both of them. They both have podcasts, 2 of them. So Matt has The Faithful Man, and then Lisa has Club 31 Women. And then Dale and Veronica Partridge, who are also from this group but have now say they've cut ties, also have blogs, podcasts, and books and classes that they offer for, that they'll teach you through in training. Same with Matt and Lisa Jacobsen. They'll teach you coaching, they'll teach you marriage advice, they teach you parenting advice, and you can pay for classes. When you go to Matt and Lisa's page, it is all, you get a cart on your pop-up. So literally, like, you start reading through things and a cart pops up. Like, it's a consumer thing, like buy our products, buy our marriage advice, buy this. So it's packaged as religion, but it seems to be some sort of MLM, because not only do they have that, but then also Dale and Veronica have it. And then this other couple that was brought up by Brenda also have that. And Jeremy and Audrey are doing the exact same thing. So when you go to Jeremy and Audrey's page, they have books that they've written, journals that they've written, they have a blog, they have a podcast, and they're all selling you the exact same thing. It's like marriage advice, parenting advice, and like the Christian way of life. And it's all espoused through the voice of Matt. So he's basically training people to put out his message through podcasts. And like, there's all these podcasts that are basically teaching the exact same thing. And it's weird because on all of their podcasts, they're all promoting each other. So if you go to like Lisa's podcast, she's promoting Audrey and Jeremy, but then she's also got Dale and Veronica on, and she's got all these other people on. But then if you go to Matt's podcast, he's got Jeremy and Audrey on. If you go to Audrey and Jeremy's podcast, they're promoting their how to be a mentor and how to be a coach. And then Audrey and Jeremy have had on Dale and had on like 3 other couples that are all from this group. And do you know who else they've had on? Jeremy and Ginger Voulot. Jeremy and Ginger Voulot are also following all of these people. And have you tried, have you looked at Jeremy and Ginger Voulot's Instagram lately? They seem to be following in the footsteps of Audrey and Jeremy Roloff by changing all of their stuff, branding all of their stuff. My husband's such a great husband. I want a godly husband. And Jeremy's like, I want a godly wife. Very in the same breath as what Audrey and Jeremy Roloff are doing. Jeremy is like liking all of Jeremy Roloff's posts. He listens to Dale Partridge. He's been on his Instagram preaching. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a podcast come out now for Jeremy and Ginger, and a book, because I feel like this guy, Matt Jacobsen, and his wife or his daughter, Stell, said it's very, very, very much like an Instagram internet cult. And that's how Ginger, and that's how, that is how Brenda described it. And it's weird. It was like the very first thing I saw. I'm like, why do they all have podcasts? Why do they all have books? Why do they all have classes that they're selling? It kind of reminds me of how Nexium got started. So if Jeremy and Ginger are coming out with a podcast, then this is going to follow suit, because Jeremy and Ginger are doing it. They are following all of these same people. So they're following Matt and Lisa Jacobsen. They are following the Partridges. They've been on the Roloffs podcast. It's all very like MLM pyramid scheme. And if Jeremy and Ginger are a part of this, then Ginger is, there's some cause for concern, because Ginger grew up with To Train Up the Child. And if she grew up with To Train Up the Child, she's naturally going to, she's not going to move away from that. And so I've been telling you guys for a very long time, when I've been watching Jeremy and Ginger, you guys, like, so many people are like, oh, they're so trendy, oh, they're so hip and happening. And I've been saying for such a long time, no, they are dressing up modern, and they are still fundies. And now, having dug through who they're liking, what they're watching, what Jeremy's commenting on, who he's following, who she's following, and now them coming out with a podcast and rebranding of their Instagram, they are completely following in Jeremy and Audrey's footsteps, in my opinion. So what is happening is Ginger is moving from one brand of fundy to another brand, but her brand is a more modern, spiced up version. And it's so creepy. So I'm so sorry, you guys. I have never done an Instagram, or I've never done a YouTube this way. I usually do it on my computer. So Ginger is breaking away from one group and moving into another group, it seems, because all of these people are following each other. And if you look at Jeremy's Twitter, and both Jeremy's Twitter, so Jeremy Roloff is extremely anti-LGBTQ+. He likes comments, and he follows a lot of people that are very anti, like transphobic, anti-feminists. This is a very patriarchal group. This is definitely the beginning of a pattern, and I feel like what Brenda actually exposed is a really good first step, because it's exposing this culture. It's exposing this group that is doing podcasts and doing, I think they've been under the radar. We haven't known who they are. We haven't known what they were doing. We weren't really sure what Jeremy and Audrey were following. We saw the direction that Jeremy and Ginger were going, but we weren't really sure. And now it's sort of exposing this group as they're using Instagram to appeal to the masses. But then when you go to Matt's blog, it is very, very archaic. And the beliefs that they're putting out are so harmful Matt has blogs about a wife's body not belonging to herself. It's the property of her husband. That's really problematic. And then you have blogs about, women must fully submit and respect their husbands. It's blogs about, using the rod on a child, and still talking about how her dad would carry around like a PVC pipe, which is what I told you Michael and Debbie Pearl advocate for. So if Jeremy and Ginger Voulot are following in these footsteps, and if Jeremy and Audrey are following Matt Jacobsen, and Stell is saying that their dad is teaching these things. This is super concerning. And like, my biggest question is, are their children, what's the Jacobsons have 4 children that are still at home, and they have one daughter that has either autism or appears to have some sort of intellectual disability. And they write about a lot of her meltdowns. And if you read anything about any child that has disabilities, you will know that statistically these children face levels of ABUSE at higher levels than their neurotypical peers. So that's concerning. And they are dressing up their very scary beliefs on Instagram as trendy. And if you listen to Jeremy and Audrey on Matt and Lisa's podcast, they talk about how countercultural they are, because Jeremy is not a leader, but he has to be. And, Jeremy is over speaking on Audrey, telling her, like, oh, your problem in this marriage is control, and you always are needing to be controlling, but a wife isn't supposed to control. You need to lead. And Audrey seems like her light has completely dimmed, because she's talking about how she needs to, like, allow Jeremy to lead and let him guide and make all of the decisions. And then Jeremy in his own right is saying it's not his natural tendency to do this, so it's extremely hard on him. And this is why these counter cultural fundies are destructive, because it makes men who don't necessarily need to be leaders. It takes all equality out of relationships. It takes all of the teamwork out of relationship. It puts an undue amount of power and control in the hands of the man, and it puts no control in the wife. And if Ginger is falling into this, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart that she moved from one thing to another. And then it breaks my heart about the children that are involved if they're following the teachings of Matt, because Stell says that this is what her dad teaches, and then Stell is saying this is what I lived through. I feel sad and disappointed right now too, Janice. I'm sorry. It's extremely sad. And I just want to give a humongous shout out to Brenda for putting out that piece. It took a lot of courage. It took a lot of bravery for her to do that. I want to thank her so much, and I want to thank my subscribers for telling me about this, because if you guys wouldn't have alerted me about it, I probably wouldn't have seen it. And I watched the full video, and then I've spent hours reading Matt's blogs, spent hours reading Jeremy and Audrey's blogs, listening to their podcasts, checking out Instagram to see who's following who, looking at their Twitters, and just seeing this overall pattern. And it's scary. It's very scary. But I want to thank you guys for tipping me off on this, because I really do think that the fact that my channel has more of a reality spin and has a more mainstream audience than Brenda. Brenda is amazing, but she's very niche, because she's a faith channel. So me not necessarily being a faith channel, if I can help Brenda in any way, bringing this story even more to the mainstream, I will do that as much as I can. Yeah. So what I'll do is tomorrow I'll do a full video where I'll show you all of the screenshots. I have so many receipts, you guys. I have so much evidence of what I was talking about. I'm not going to recap anything, because it's not going to make any sense to the people that come in when this uploads. So what I'll do tomorrow is I'm going to put together an entire video, which will have all of the stuff from Matt's blog. I will have clips of what Jeremy and Audrey say about their marriage, and how they, it's countercultural, and it's totally against what this world is. And I'll show you all of the blogs from Matt talking about his belief about respect and the body of a woman not belonging to herself, and parenting and discipline, and the podcasts that they have, clips from their podcasts. It's all very concerning, and it's all very scary. And the fact that Audrey and Jeremy are refusing to answer even basic questions, when the other families that were actually in this video that Brenda put out, so Brenda outed 4 total families, and 3 of the ones that were not Lisa and Matt, 2 of them have already denounced it and said they're not involved in this. But Jeremy and Audrey have not said a thing. They have not said we're not involved with this. They have not said a word, nothing. They have not responded. And the other couples have said, we don't do this. We don't believe in this. And Jeremy and Audrey have said nothing. Jeremy and Audrey have a book coming out. Their publisher has got to be crapping their pants. But if you are connected to this is not a good look for publicity. And this, I mean, if everything that Stella's saying is true. Yeah, they posted a sneaky link to a Google Doc. You're right, Rachel. So Stell is the one that put this out. She's their daughter, Matt and Lisa Jacobsen's oldest daughter, I believe. And she claims that they've done a lot of really terrible things, and they still have 4 children at home. What's unclear about all of this is that while Brenda's calling them out publicly, I would love to know, the Bates are terrible. The Bates are equally as terrible as all these other people. Just because the Bates are glossed up and look pretty, they still believe in all the same crap as the Duggars. Gil Bates runs the IBLP. That's all you need to know. That's it. They're all fundies, all of them. So, in my opinion, and I think it's fair to speak out about this kind of stuff because of, with the teachings that they have, that there's children in these homes that are being affected by this. And Gil Bates basically runs the IBLP. But basically what I was reading today is that Matt Jacobsen, they all have the same beliefs. It's just all different. So there's the ATI, which is what...
No, you can't go outside.
The ATI, which is what the Duggars and the Bates are, and then there's this branch over here, but they all have the same beliefs. They're just different sects of sort of different cults that have the same belief, but it's all problematic. And they all follow Debbie and Michael Pearl. So,
No, it's too late.
yes, Stell called out the ATI in that video, absolutely. And she said that all of it's connected. She said the ATI and what they're doing is all connected. I don't know. Jeremy and Audrey met these people after they got married. So this was not something that Matt and Amy were involved in. But I just want to remind you guys something, that just because you see Amy and Matt on TV, reality TV isn't real. And people hide things all the time. I'm not saying that Amy and Matt have any skeletons in their closet, but you just don't know. And we can't assume that just because they're on TV that we know everything about them. They've even admitted that stuff on the show is 100% fake. Yeah, it's crazy. It's very scary. So I reached out to Brenda. If any of you guys know Brenda, or have a way for me to connect with Brenda, I would love to talk to Brenda. With me having 78,000 subscribers here and Brenda having 97,000 subscribers, I feel like if we could work together, I could help her get this story out so much further because of the reality TV mainstream audience I have here that she probably doesn't have over there. Because I feel like the story needs to go further. I feel like it needs to be picked up wider. Yeah, Jimmy, but see, the difference between them and my channel with Jimmy and Brenda is that they're not, I'm covering more mainstream topics. So I actually have outlets that follow me, like Soap Dirt and Cheat Sheet and In Touch and all these different like outlets that will quote me. So if I could get Brenda to work with me, we could get something on this channel that could actually get picked up more broadly. Because it could get onto Soap Dirt, it could get onto Cheat Sheet, and it could get onto The Blast, it could get onto all these different outlets that have people that follow me that pick up stories from my channel that haven't picked it up yet. Like there's nothing out on the, there's nothing out on the blogs yet. And if we can get it further out, we could. So I do hope, if you're a subscriber of hers, let her know. I sent her an email. But, you know, I feel like if content creators can work together, we can get this story out further. Because this kind of stuff should not be tolerated. We shouldn't be tolerating any groups that are advocating for any sort of to train up the child, okay? And if Audrey and Jeremy are a part of that and they are using their platform to promote that in an indirect way, that's really problematic. And that's an if, but the fact that they haven't spoken out or denounced it concerns me. They are very close to this family, extremely close. And they have their daughter working for them. So, yeah, this group is definitely very disturbing. Welcome to the new subscribers. I've had a lot of new subscribers lately, so thank you guys so much for subscribing. This is definitely, you are not blocked, Dreamer. I see you right there. I am so glad to all of you guys for subscribing. Lisa says, thank you for all the work you have done to get the story out. I want to thank you guys for bringing this to me. You guys know that I am like a worm and or a rabbit, and I will like dig into any story. So I will do something more that I can. And I know I missed, somebody just joined as a member. I missed you. Where are you? Whoever the new member is. Oh, there you are. Sarah, thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate your membership. And thank you, Lisa, for your super chat. I was even upset about the response on the Little People Big World subreddit. It does seem odd that they haven't put out a statement, being that they are so public and they put out everything on social media. And I have so many screenshots. I have tons of stuff from Matt's blog. I have tons of stuff from Lisa's blog. There's so much overlap. It's crazy, you guys. But if you're going to use your platform to sell books and podcasts and all that kind of stuff, you better be transparent about what you're involved in. And if you're using it to sell faith and your faith products, and your faith teacher is telling you to train up a child, the public deserves to know that, because if you're not transparent about that and people are buying it because of your platform that you got from TLC, because by the way, Jeremy and Audrey, you would have no platform if it were not for your parents. So, you know, and then if Jeremy and Ginger are getting involved with this is crazy. So, and again, this is all if nobody's accused of anything, you know, like this is all just what Brenda put out. She connected some of the dots, and we'll try to get something more more cohesive out tomorrow where I'll show you everything. And I think what I'll do is I'll do it as a live stream so you guys can interact and see it, and I'll play some clips of you. I took some clips of videos. It's kind of disturbing. So you guys, I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me. This was actually kind of fun. I wish I could have shown you the clips. YouTubing live isn't so weird from my phone. I like my computers better. Meow.
He wants to go out so bad.
Meow. The kitties want to go outside.
This is Michael.
Meow. Oh, now the dogs are barking.
Noel with the E.
No, my cat is not in heat. My cat's a dog. Or my cat's a boy, and
He just
he just wants to go outside. But he doesn't go outside.
Rita and Sweetie.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to my channel if you have not. Make sure you check out my Instagram. I have been doing a lot of stuff on Instagram, so if you haven't liked my Instagram, it's at Without a Crystal Ball. If you have stuff that you want to forward, you have tips, suggestions, you can do Facebook or Instagram are the best DMs to go to. Jessie Bear, my moderator in chief, she runs my DMs and responds. I do not respond very much to DMs anymore, given what's been going on with me lately. So if you have questions, concerns, that's kind of stuff. If I already have an established relationship and I know who you are, sometimes I will respond. But I appreciate all of your guys' support, and thank you for bringing the story to my attention, and we will make sure to get more attention to this group so that we can get it wider out, because if they're using Instagram to recruit, that's really problematic. So I hope you guys have a really good night. Thanks for joining me.